Hi guys, it's Kasha. Welcome to the channel, to my wonderland. It is a coffee time and today we have in the menu coffee and books. So today I decided to do a tag for you guys, and that is the mid-year book Freakout tag. It is basically a tag based on a couple of questions, and the questions are regarding books that you already read this year and the ones that you still want to read. I'm gonna leave down below all the questions as well as the direct links to the creators of this tag. And that would be A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness, and I actually just finished this. I just loved it so much. I think it is because it gave me some Anne Rice vibes, and I have not had that in a long time with books. I love the fact that it combines magic and witches and demons. The book is basically the first in a trilogy. The book starts with our character, which is a young witch that has been trying all her life not to use her powers, but while she is at the library at university where she does her researches, she gets this manuscript because she is kind of studying like alchemy and all of that cool stuff. And this manuscript is different and it has some sort of like spell. She doesn't know how, but she unlocks this spell. And basically after that happens, a lot of weird people and creatures start to appear in her life, and I don't want to tell you more about it because this is just really basically the first couple of chapters, and after that so many things happen. So many things. So I loved it so much that I am going to buy a hard copy of this one because I just purchased this little kind of paperback, but it's a 700 pages book, so I would really like to have the nice hardback, and I'm gonna purchase also book 2 and 3 in hardback and devour them. So in 2018 I decided to finally read The Hunger Games. I have not watched the movies. I have kept myself outside of that because I didn't want to get spoilers or, you know, get all the characters' faces in my head, because I'm one of those people that rather imagine them in my head, which I guess it's normal if you like to read because that's kind of the point. So I really love the second book on the series, which can be considered a sequel, and that is Catching Fire by Suzanne Collins. I loved book 1 and book 2 was even better, and then I got to book 3 and I was not happy with the end. That's just me. I was not happy. I was expecting something else. So far this is my favorite sequel that I have read in 2018. I am dying to read The Outsider by Stephen King. I cannot really tell you what it's about because if Stephen King writes something, I'm gonna read it. I don't even care to know what the book is about. If it's Stephen King, I'm gonna buy that and I'm gonna read that. I have not ever read a Stephen King book that I did not enjoy. Some, of course, I liked more than others, or I was more engaged with some than others, but I've loved every single one of them. So that's why I don't even bother to read the synopsis. I just go to the bookstore, get the book, read the book. That will be The Chalkman by C.J. Tudor. This book has been praised by Stephen King, so that is, yes, indeed, one of the reasons why I'm interested in the book. The second reason will be because it's a horror book, and we follow the story of Eddie, a 12-year-old boy that meets the Chalkman in 1986 at a fair. So this Chalkman sends kind of little drawings to Eddie and his friends, and that leads them to discover a body. 30 years later, Eddie has already forgotten everything about it, but then he gets in the mail a letter that contains a drawing from the Chalkman. Already love that, so I hope that this book does not let me down. That will be Authority by Jeff Vandermeer. So basically Netflix announced that they were going to do Annihilation, and I was like, damn, I haven't read the trilogy. So I ordered all 3 books and I started from book 1, which I love. Book 1 was kind of fast-paced and interesting, and there was a lot of things going on in adventure, and I just really enjoyed it. But then we got to book 2. Good lord, I don't even know. I mean, I had to push myself to read this book so bad. Every page was painful. It was boring, repetitive, nothing was really going on. We're just going in circles, same stuff over and over again. But I pushed myself through it because I really want to give book 3 a chance so that I can at least know what happens in the end. But this was a nightmare. Like, I am never, ever going to reread this. This was a challenge for me. My biggest surprise was Everything Beautiful Is Not Ruined by Danielle Young Ullman. The reason why it was a surprise is because I normally don't read these kind of books, and when I do, I'm not always like enjoying them to the point where they become one of my favorite books of the year. But this one definitely was one of those books that left a mark. I was thinking it was going to be this typical contemporary kind of young adult story about a girl that, you know, is sent to camp by her mom, and she's gonna have the experiences there with other guys and girls in the camp, and maybe she would fall in love or something like that. But it was not really like that. It was a more in-depth story about life and, you know, choices that we make in life and growing up. And I really enjoyed the writing so much, and the way that the author told us the story. I could really connect with the characters even though I had not experienced anything similar. So getting to connect with them at that level means that it was such a well written book and it was told so beautifully. I really recommend it to everybody that has not read it yet. There will be Deborah Harkness, because I didn't know her until I read The Discovery of Witches, and I believe she only has that trilogy in a new book coming up this year as well. And I loved the way that she wrote the book, the 700 pages, like I could flew through them, and I loved her character development. I fell in love with the characters, the story, everything. She's releasing this year a book called Times Convert, and it's going to be the first book in what I believe it's going to be a trilogy about some of the characters that we get to meet in A Discovery of Witches. So that is already something that I'm really looking forward to. There'll be Matthew Claremont from A Discovery of Witches, and he is the vampire. It is kind of a interview with the vampire feeling that I have with him, and I think that's why I like him so much. I absolutely love what Deborah did with this character, and it is kind of an old soul vampire, but in slight ways he's still a little bit contemporary, and I loved him. It's not really a new favorite character. I mean, I could talk again about Discovery of Witches, but for the sake of being a little bit more diverse in this tag, I'm going to choose Jack and Jill by Down Among the Sticks and Bones. This is the second book on the Wayward Children series, and I already loved all the characters from the first book. In this book in particular, we follow the twin sisters Jack and Jill. What I love more about them is that actually they really love each other as twin sisters, but their parents were so obsessed to make one of them super feminine and the other one kind of like a tomboy that they were being driven apart by her parents. I love this book because it tells you the story of how they travel to another world and they have to face a lot of new adventures and challenges in their lives, and I just loved a lot to follow the two different sisters. So if you haven't read the Wayward Children series, go get the first book. It's good. It is actually hard for me to cry in a book. And this year so far I have not cried. I've had a couple of tears here and there that were like inside tears, you know, but I haven't really like openly cried with a book this year. We'll see, because I'm still considering reading The Fault in Our Stars this year, so tears might roll. A book that made me happy, and I chose this one because it was so much fun to read it and I had such a good time. That was Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. After I read Carry On, and I was not such a huge fan of it. Don't get me wrong, I liked Carry On, but I didn't like it as much as I thought I would after all the hype. So then I picked up Fangirl and I thought maybe the same is gonna happen. You know, everybody's been hyping the book and I've been getting really excited about it, and maybe then when I read it I get disappointed, but it was not the case. Actually, I loved this book so much. So far, my favorite book that I've read from Rainbow Rowell. The story was so cute and it was so nice, and even though we do deal with a couple of hard topics in this book, it just made me so happy to read it. I was just so excited to go back to this world and the characters every time I had time to read some pages. Like it just made me legit happy. As for the beautiful book, I mean, all books are beautiful. Let's face it, we love them books. But one of the books that I really enjoyed Inside Out this year is actually a graphic novel, and that is Wires and Nerves by Marissa Meyer. Not only is it beautiful on the outside, but if we remove the dust jacket, yes, look at the inside. I mean, to be able to follow the characters in kind of like a graphic novel was amazing, and this book is super beautiful. I kind of want to order part 2, but I know it's the last one that I'm gonna read from these characters from the Lunar Chronicles, so it's kind of also heartbreaking. So for this year, I did not plan any specific TBR, but I am going to make a separate video with some books that I definitely want to read before the end of the year. To be honest, there are so many people that I follow on BookTube, and I enjoy the videos of so many people. But one of the booktubers I have been following the longest, and I enjoy her videos so much because it always makes me smile, always makes me happy. That is Zoe by Read by Zoe. Alright you guys, so this was my mid-year book freakout tag. Hope that you enjoyed the video and the questions. Remember, I'm gonna leave them down below in case you wanna do the tag as well. Give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more coffee times. All my other social links are down below, and I hope to see you guys in the next coffee time. Bye!